So what we're talking about here is high cholesterol, huge health concern that affects over 94 million Americans here. So joining us to discuss the importance of lowering that cholesterol to help decrease your risk for heart disease is Catherine Willimon, founder and CEO of the Family Heart Foundation, and Dr. Abba Khandelwal, Stanford Medicine cardiologist. Welcome to the show, and we'll start with Dr. Khandelwal. What is the current state of cholesterol health in America?
Well, it's not great, Mike. Over 1/3 of the adult population has high cholesterol, and we know that anywhere from 1 in 250 to 1 in 5 have a genetic form that can't be treated with diet and exercise alone. We know that heart disease is the #1 killer of U.S. adults, and it disproportionately affects certain minorities. Reducing cholesterol helps reduce that risk. We know more recently that the lower we can keep the LDL cholesterol, the better. And currently we have a lot of therapies, but unfortunately only a little over half of individuals that could benefit are actually on them.
Thank you, Dr. Khandelwal. And can you tell us about the safety and effectiveness of cholesterol-lowering medications?
Yeah, so we have several safe and effective medications to lower cholesterol. Statins are a drug class that lower cholesterol, but also can reduce your future risk for heart attack or cardiovascular events. A recent meta-analysis showed that the risk of side effects is quite low. A newer class of medications called PCSK9 inhibitors can drop the LDL cholesterol down to the 30 to 40 milligrams per deciliter range. And a recent study again demonstrated that the longer that we could keep patients on these medications, their risk for heart attack, stroke, and cardiovascular death. So there are a lot of options. Talk to your healthcare provider because you may require more than one to get to your goal.
All right, thank you, doctor. Hey, let's bring in Catherine now. Let's see Catherine here. Catherine, you look wonderful there, and you had a heart attack before the age of 40. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. So the reason that I had a heart attack when I was 39 was that I had extremely high cholesterol. At the age of 15, I discovered that my LDL cholesterol was above 300, which is very high. And fast forward through college, becoming a vegetarian, going on and off of statins because I didn't understand how at risk I was. By the time I was 39, I'd started to develop a little bit of shortness of breath and a teeny bit of pain when I would walk up a flight of stairs or hike with my husband. And then one day I was out gardening and I started to experience crushing chest pain and pain radiating down my arm. And I knew something was very wrong. I called 911 and it turns out that I had developed 100% blockage of the main artery that is supposed to be feeding my heart blood. I now know that I have one of these genetic conditions that Dr. Khandelwal mentioned called familial hypercholesterolemia, and that condition causes high cholesterol from birth. Now I take 3 medications to keep my cholesterol in the safe range, and I think it's a small price to pay.
Catherine, thanks so much for sharing your story. Now, what should our audience know about lowering what's called the LDL cholesterol to manage our cardiovascular disease?
Well, Mike, the main thing that people need to understand is that if their cholesterol is high for any reason, it's really important that they commit to themselves to lower it in partnership with their healthcare provider and to keep it low. We know that for everyone, atherosclerosis begins as early as childhood. So cholesterol buildup begins very early, and you need to get your LDL low as soon as possible and keep it low.
Very good information there. Okay, so Catherine, where can we go for more information and resources?
Sure, you can go to morefamiliesmorehearts.org and you'll learn a lot about LDL cholesterol and what you can do to protect yourself.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and helping lots of folks. We got to lower that cholesterol now, and of course you can head to our website, and that is firstcoastliving.net.